What do you say, everybody? Welcome to the original Bama Football Tailgate Show and the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. We're at the Flora-Bama. Baron Huber, me, Mick Gillispie, Chad Anderson's in Nashville right now, and it is great to have all of you guys on. Before we do anything else, though, the first thing I want to say is that you're welcome here. I mean, this is your home for Alabama sports, and it's really easy to join this tailgate party at the Flora-Bama. Just all you got to do is like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoy talking Alabama football, and hit the bell so you know when we're live. Well, what's up, man? I got to say, good to see Chad back in full service. Baron, good to see you as well, man.
Great to see you, man. Hey, it's hard to have a bad time in the place we're at, huh?
No, it is. Look, I'm in your shot right now. I would just do this, like put me in your shot. But
that's
now
the first
my
time I've ever had my own shot.
You
man.
have your own shot.
I feel important.
But what's crazy is that if I turn this light down, these cameras are like different. Like, you know, I get my single shot gets where I'm like blacked out, and then I'm like perfect in your shot.
Well, I've been blacked out here before. That wouldn't be anything new.
Well, I have too.
Mick has on air.
I have.
I've been somewhere near that on air. Perhaps why I forfeited my FCC rights to be on terrestrial radio.
The crazy thing is I talk about this all the time. Like, you started the Tailgate Show. Do you know that, Chad, that he started the Tailgate Show?
I knew he was an OG on it.
He is the OG, but he's like the godfather of it. Like, this was the whole thing was your idea.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, you know, ideas are what they are. It's the execution that makes them realistic. And, you know, gosh, it's probably been, 12 years, 10 years at least.
At least 10
years.
decade. You know, because 2015, we did the party at you guys had a party at that lake place.
Yep.
And we watched, and now I do a show with Jake Coker. We watched Jake.
Yeah.
And those guys kicked the shit out of
Michigan State.
And then we went to the championship game. I sat with you and Mike Johnson and the guy from Louisiana, the little guy.
Oh, Ron.
Yeah, Ron. Little Ron. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Mike's still in radio, has a great career. I think he's in 97.7 or 102.9 in Atlanta.
He's in Atlanta on ESPN
in a big market, doing a great job.
Yeah.
And you know, they talk pro football and they talk college football, obviously. You know, a little bit there, and in a bigger market, you're going to get more pro sports. But he's had a successful career, and you know, man, the show just keeps on going.
You started all this.
Mike, I saw him on Twitter. I think it's 92.9.
92.9.
He I don't know how he completely felt about it, but I saw him the day before Thanksgiving. He was on Twitter tweeting out photos of the Atlanta airport. So I guess they were doing a remote, some sort of live from the Atlanta airport. I personally couldn't think of a worse damn spot to be.
Yes and no. As someone that's a diamond medallion member of Delta, I feel like the Atlanta airport's my second home, flying out of Birmingham all the time. But I will tell you this much. You know, you want to talk about a place to look at some action? I'm talking about people, just mass amounts of humanity moving from one place to the other. And you know, I used to hate the Atlanta airport because it was, you know, frankly, it was so big. But the older I get and the more, I guess, as an old person, you start respecting operations and execution.
Don't call yourself old, please.
No, I say older person.
Okay, older.
ER. You know, I think about it. You know, the Atlanta airport does a hell of a job moving the amount of people that they have on a day in and day out.
You got to take a tram to get to the other,
dude.
like your plane. Like you get there and it's like, oh, I got a layover. Oh no, I don't. I just got to go from A to D. You know, and
it's kind of miraculous that they even get what they got moving through there. But they do a good job. Almost as good as the Flora-Bama when it comes to handling people, but they're getting better.
Yeah. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, absolutely.
Go Chiefs. Go Chiefs. Derek Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh, did
nice.
you? Oh, cool.
Rock Chalk.
I didn't. Barron played a little football.
I played some, yes. University of Alabama. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of Coach Bryant. Yeah, I mean, there's been years I think we probably could have beaten the Chiefs. Not now, but yeah.
So you down here on vacation?
I'm just here on vacation.
Good for you, man. Welcome. I hope you had a great time. Oh, look at your wife. Yeah, she's beautiful. Looks like Barbara Bush almost. Yeah.
I don't know which is more surprising.
Come through here. Yeah. We got a little selfie going on here, right? See the smile? Yeah. It's yeah,
there you go, man.
That's radio, man.
What's that? Yeah. Well,
Georgia's losing already. That's good.
Anyway, how do you think Alabama's going to
I think Bama's going to be all right. I think we're the best team in the country, or close to it.
How many teams in the playoff? There's always going to be a few tonight.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And I like what Nick said. He lost 2 games. Both of those games lost was last play.
Oh, last year, yeah.
Not this year. We got our ass kicked pretty good by Texas, but sometimes the lessons are in the losses.
Well, have a
The
great
fun's in the winning.
Thanksgiving and
Have a
welcome
good
to
one.
Flora-Bama.
Go Chiefs for you. All right.
Yeah. Making friends. This is
Yeah,
what the
well,
pre-show's about. It's
If
making
you
friends.
can't if you can't make friends in this place, you got something wrong with you.
I don't know which is more surprising, though, whether he thought that Barron didn't know who Bear Bryant was, or that Mick didn't, wondering if Mick played football for Alabama.
Another couple Yuenglings. I think Mick might look like a center. I don't know.
They're snapping the ball.
And when I say
I think-
center, I'm talking about CENTER.
I think that guy skipped Yuenglings and went to Bushwhackers.
Oh, he's had a couple. He had a good time here playing bingo.
Oh, this guy was playing bingo. I
yeah,
saw
I was
him playing bingo.
We had the whole family playing bingo. Hell, we had 12 cards going at one point.
It was so fun, man. This place is cool. We spent Thanksgiving here, our families. I thought it was a fantastic time.
Oh man, you think about it. I think they had 800 plus, somewhere between 800 and 900 people here yesterday
Did they
feeding
really?
them. Yeah, and wonderful time. Anybody listening, if you're bored with the traditional Thanksgiving and maybe, frankly, bored with your family members, hell of a time down here. Today, hell, I had my shirt off sitting on the beach. I still got my shoes off.
Yeah. Where are your shoes?
Yeah, well, they're
Somewhere?
around here somewhere. Yeah.
Well, it's this is No Shoes Nation anyway, right? Around here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like home, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't wear your shoes in your house.
No,
It's the same way here. It's for the people that get it, this is like home.
Yeah. Chad, I hope you're jealous, man.
I am, because although yesterday was absolutely gorgeous, today was pretty nice here in Nashville. It's not the beach. It's not the Flora-Bama. You can try to recreate it all you want, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. Well, a lot of us have gotten kicked out of here, gotten drunk in this place. Funny thing is, the guy Steve Powers, so I've texted him and said to come down here. I haven't heard back from him. Before he worked here, he got kicked out. He got kicked out of here and then got a job.
I mean, it's somewhat of a rite of passage. You got to be committed to be. Honestly, let's not call it being kicked out. It's more. Hey, maybe you should go home.
Ask to leave.
I've done less and been kicked out of better, I suppose.
Yeah, right.
The one great story where I remember the beginning and don't remember the end was we said it. I forgot which show it was, Mick, but there was such a line to get into the Flora-Bama out there on the highway that this is a catfish story for you, Mick. OG cat.
Probably pulling out the checkbook.
He pays the taxi
That's what
driver.
his dad does. Yeah.
He pays the taxi driver to go on the shoulder and just drive past everyone and pulls up to the front door and lets us out.
Oh, wow.
And then the cab just drives off. The cab didn't care because I think he gave him like $100 just to do it.
I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
We were in New Orleans. We were in New Orleans 2008 for the Sugar Bowl when you had one of your most famous moments.
Oh yeah, the Rumble in the Bayou.
The Rumble in the Bayou. Right?
And Daniel Moore is still working on that, is he not? I thought at one point that
how you were sitting here with this guy. Think about that back then, Chad. 2008 Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, it was a terrible game. We're getting our ass kicked in just about every facet, and we did pull closer towards the end.
When you took the punt, the kickoff, what were you thinking? I'm taking this to the house.
Fuck yeah, man! You don't touch the ball. I think it's a score. I mean,
He was going to be Arenas. Barron was going to pull a
and
hobby.
let me
Well,
tell
she
you
likes
something.
to
If
throw those guys
it
over.
wasn't for Preston Dial making his block, I would have fucking made it. All right?
Yeah, right.
But no, it was like a 38-yard kickoff return, and I'll never forget. I came to the sideline, and Bobby Williams, who was our special teams and tight ends coach at the time, he came over to me and he goes, "Son of a bitch." I was going, no. And then I was going, go.
Man, Man, I wish you'd have taken it to the house. Man.
But, I never had a chance to score for the University of Alabama. Blocked for plenty of touchdowns. But one of the cooler moments I've had in my life, it would have been, my true freshman year. My parents come down to see me, and the stadium was open. We go into the stadium. There just so happened to be this is a true story. There just so happened to be a football that was on the sideline. And I told Dad, I said, they're going to move me to fullback. And the only chance I really got to score is a play called Fire Pass. And I said, let's run it. You throw me my first touchdown at Bryant Denny Stadium. There was nobody in the stadium. And
that's cool.
The only touchdown, unfortunately, I scored was one that my dad threw me.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Dad's a good quarterback.
Yeah, he was pretty damn good. Yeah, got me where I'm at now.
Yeah. Well, we went to Pat O'Brien's, and the line was like way down the street.
Oh, yeah.
And his dad tipped the guy at the door $100, and we were right next to the piano, like that fast. It was like that fast, like.
That was a night to give everybody an idea where I won't even go to where Mick went with Lucky Dogs, but
I got a feeling like they didn't sit well with me, and it
had nothing to do with the alcohol.
My question: did he take it in one bite? That's my
question. Those hurricanes they're just not good drinks.
You get a $2 refund for every glass you give back to Pat O'Brien's.
That's right.
Yeah, we got a $42 refund.
Holy
yeah. They were piled up everywhere. Like they were like piled up like and
like
at first we were going to take the glasses with us, and then you get so drunk you're like, I don't what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with these glasses? Like they're very thin glass too. Like they almost break if you stare at them too hard.
Yeah, the good thing for me is I was raised to be a good drinker, so I was drinking Hurricanes when I was probably 14 or 15, and never really got by the time I got to New Orleans, I was somewhat of a professional. So right. I can't imagine drinking a mixed drink in New Orleans, but Mick, it sounds like
they're good. They go down fast. There's your quarterback right there.
Right there, yeah.
Good to see Big Kev in the house.
Yeah, Dad's here. 2 years cancer free.
I know.
Yeah,
your dad's awesome, man. You got a great family. Like I love hanging out with you guys. With Chad, you missed out on the parties at the Huber's place in Tuscaloosa.
I was there a few times.
Did you?
Yeah, I partake, whatever, with the bell ringing.
Partaking.
Yeah. Well, if they had the place now and we did the fountain again, it would be Skrewball Fountain.
Yeah, it'd be Skrewball. And look,
Skrewball.
You got a great sponsor here, and I tell you, I've been watching people. This is the home of the Bushwhacker.
Yeah,
and I would say, gosh, probably 10-1 on everything else. When they want a topper, people getting a Skrewball, and it's a hell of it's like drinking a Reese's cup,
Screwed Whacker.
Screwed Whacker, yeah, whatever they call it. Been there before. Had a couple today, matter of fact, but no, Skrewball's a great sponsor for you guys. I'm proud of it, as you should be too, and I know they do a great business down here at the Flora-Bama. Yeah, pairs well with the Bushwhacker.
It does. It's that I had what they call salty nuts.
I bet you love
that.
I'm sure.
It's just a drink.
He took it all. I'm sure he took every bit of it.
Was he wearing a Speedo?
It's how I normally lubricate for the show.
Is that one of those things where he wears a Speedo and gets out and doesn't dry off? Is that salty nuts?
Man, you guys got to come down here and get on the boat with me, man. That's the next thing. During the summer, it's too cold for the boat right now, but.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
I'm a lake guy. I get out here in the Gulf, and the tide and the wind and everything gets the waves a little bit much for me.
We're mostly
Mick, all due respect. I've had too many good times with you. I'm not certainly sure if I'm ready for you to be my captain when I'm out on the salt water. But I give you a shot.
I'm not saying that you're wrong, but you've been to Robinson Island before.
I've been there before, yeah.
It's just fun.
It's a great area down here in general. And, one of the things that this area does really, really well is they don't lose who they are.
Yeah, right.
And it's growing the right way. There's an art to scaling. I started my first business when I was 22 years old. And trust me, the lessons I've learned have been on my own money and my own time. And, one of the things I learned, within the last 5-6 years is there's an art to growth. You can't just always just grow overnight. and you have to be smart about it, and you can't lose yourself in it. You can't lose your brand in it. And I think Orange Beach as a whole does a great job of growing the right way, growing incrementally, keeping focus on what's important here and what makes Orange Beach special. And they, they don't lose it. And I can't say that for other cities on the Gulf Coast. And that's why I choose to spend money down here.
Guys, we're going to Saturday. It's time for the radio show to start. So we'll if you guys are hanging around with us, we'll do some post-game stuff. But let's start let's get this radio show started. It'll be on this radio network across the state tomorrow. Roll Tide, everybody. Here we go.
The original Bama Football Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad with former Crimson Tide Sports Network broadcaster and SEC Network play-by-play voice, Mick Gillispie. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is presented by Yuengling Larger. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. The only beer you need at a Bama tailgate party. Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play. Now featuring the sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge. Also brought to you by the Flora-Bama World Famous Beach Bar and Lounge in Orange Beach, Alabama. Genesis of Tuscaloosa, luxury with a national championship service department. Sevierville, your Smokies start here. Visit Sevierville.com. Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. R&R Cigars, home of the Cigar Mansion and Victory Cigar. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa. Unique Bar on the Strip, home of the NFL, MLB, Premier League package. Catch all the games at Unique. Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. Not too small, not too big. Tuscaloosa is pronounced just right. Visit Tuscaloosa.com. Pond Royale, located at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. And NewLifeArt.com, publisher of Fine Art Editions by Daniel A. Moore. Use the code Bama Tailgate for a discount at NewLifeArt.com. Now your host of the Tailgate Show, Mick Gillispie.
Roll Tide, everybody, and welcome to the Bama Football Tailgate Show. It's presented by Yuengling Larger, America's oldest brewery. And for the next 2 hours, we're going to preview number 8 Alabama and Auburn, 2:30, Jordan-Hare Stadium. On the show today, we got Thom Abraham from 97.7 ESPN The Zone in Huntsville, and Drew Bone to talk to us about recruiting from BamaOnline and On3 Sports. Kenny White out in Vegas with Reagan from R&R Cigars. Baron Huber, who's sitting right next to me right now, 2009 national champion and the godfather of this show, which we'll talk about a lot on here. This is the Bama Football Tailgate Show. It's presented by Yuengling Larger, a 6th-generation company. And our friend Cheryl Yuengling, who's part of the company's ownership, is a proud Alabama grad. She puts a little bit of crimson love in each one of these green bottles, or kind of a maroon-colored can here. Also try Flight. Mick Gillispie here with Chad Anderson. And Baron Huber. Alabama's 10-1, Auburn 6-5, guys. Roll Tide.
Yeah, it's about how we like it, isn't it? 10-1, 6-5.
That's a typical Auburn and Alabama matchup, right?
Yeah, you hate to be cliche, and you throw the record books out and all that kind of stuff you get on rivalry weeks, but I don't know. I feel a little bit different about this year.
Yeah, I do too. Welcome to the world famous Flora-Bama, by the way. We're at the Flora-Bama, not you, Chad, but us two.
Yeah, my first time here. Chad, I don't know if you've ever been here before, but you got to check it out.
That's bull crap. I walked in and I saw your name scribbled in the women's bathroom stall.
Yeah, there's been a couple times I've looked at my name and gone, what the hell? I saw my name here. Great place, great people. One of the few strongholds, in my opinion, of true family. It does a great mix of family, roadhouse, party, beach. I mean, there's a lot going on here at the same time, and they do a great job of putting it in the blender and mixing it up and serving it just right.
Yeah, no doubt. You and I did Thanksgiving here, and then you played bingo here, and then watching college football here. You do it all here.
Yeah, I got my family here. I got my daughter here who's 9. I got my nephew. It's 2 years old. There's kids over here on our left shoulder. They're doing a little relay race up the ramp here. And no, it's a great place for friends and family. You know, one of the things that I think is always unique about here is it's centered around music. You know, I learned yesterday they do 3,500 live acts.
Yeah, crazy
in a year. There's 365 days in a year, so start doing some math. It's a little less than 10 per day.
I know.
And you know, in my opinion, the music is the anchor here, but the ambiance and truly the come as you are to me is the real charm.
Yeah, everyone's welcome. What about you, Chad? How you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. Glad to be here. What a game today. I always, you know, no matter what the records are, it is annoying. You guys are more confident than I am, but we'll see what happens later this afternoon. How many bras have you autographed though there, Baron, this week?
No bras yet.
There's a string in the main bra. In the main bar.
To say that I haven't, eyeballed a few, but no, nothing yet today. Okay. But maybe after the game.
Yeah, Big Earl hasn't been here.
Yeah, Big Earl
to fill that string up.
We're running out of weekends to gamble, so I was just looking for an over/under action.
Yeah, isn't that sad, guys? I mean, you got to think about, you know, this year's gone by so fast.
It has.
And, you know,
time warp.
It's,
you know, what's crazy? There's today and there's one more week of chaos.
How?
Opportunity.
How?
Yeah. In 8 days, we're going to have the playoffs set. 8 days from today, we're going to have the playoffs.
And I don't want to get the cart before the horse today by any means, but I mean, is chaos what has to happen for us? I don't know. I would think that our record speaks for itself, but perhaps chaos would be. And speaking of which, chaos arrives, and here we go.
Big Kev, look at Big Kev,
right on time.
Thanks, Dad. In the first second. Great. The opening
he had a handful of drinks. I wish we had a camera on him. He had a handful of drinks. And then one in his mouth, and the one in his mouth was for you.
13 years of bartender. The guy, still hasn't lost it, you know?
No, he hasn't lost that touch. All right, we're going to talk about this Alabama and Auburn Iron Bowl when we come back. I want to know some stuff. Does the loss to New Mexico help Auburn? Some people seem to think that. Bama playing that game against Chattanooga took a hit in their strength of schedule. And I want to know this when we come back. I want to know if is Auburn Jesus real, or is it just some kind of mental thing? So don't answer that now.
There's a lot of complexity on that whole thing.
There's some tough questions there. But what I want to tell you guys right now, though, is order at New Life Art, newlifeart.com, and use the code Bama Tailgate to get 25% off your order. So take advantage of that, whether you're on radio or watching on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Bama Tailgate, 25% off your order at New Life Art. Now is the time to go out there and pimp out your man cave. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk more about Alabama and Auburn from the world famous Flora-Bama. Don't go anywhere. We will return after this.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene, too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and it's time for Flora-Bama Fun Facts. The Flora-Bama first opened in 1964, and we're celebrating our 59th year of doing it on the line. We host over 150 events every year, including Mullet Toss, Oktoberfest, Halloween Costume Party, Frank Brown Songwriters, Thanksgiving and Christmas Potluck, the biggest New Year's Eve party, and of course, the Polar Bear Plunge on January 1st. All the events, including our live music schedule, are available online at florabama.com.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yuengling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yuengling, bring the goods.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
See yourself in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Back on the original Bama Football Tailgate Show, hanging out with you from the Flora-Bama here in Perdido Key, down on the coast, getting you ready for Alabama and Auburn. They play at 2:30 at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn in this year's edition of the Iron Bowl. Let me remind you guys that the Bama Football Tailgate Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw. Now's a great time to make your picks count at the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sports Book. Great to have Baron Huber and Chad Anderson on the show. I'm Mick Gillispie, and we're talking Alabama and Auburn. Guys, let's get into this right now. The narrative around the world of college football has been Auburn lost to New Mexico State. So today they're going to play better against Alabama.
You would like to think so. I think it really – to be honest with you, the tempo, the timbre, the pace of the game, everything today is going to revolve around us. What do we allow and what do we enforce? And I think that's a big thing. They lost to New Mexico State. Could they be looking ahead to us? Who really knows? And quite frankly, who really cares? It's really not about them. It's about us. And I know that's a traditional Nick Saban line, but if the shoe fits, wear it. And I really do believe that. And I really do think it's more about what we do and not so much about what they do.
I see Big Kev over here. Big Kev, I'm great, brother. Thank you, though. I know. Roll Tide, man.
Absolutely. Roll Tide. He was trying to get a Yuengling, a banner put up here, tied up.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Let's put him up. Chad, let me ask you this. Alabama's strength of schedule took a real kick in the groin last week playing Chattanooga. Is that going to affect Alabama with today's game on the road at Auburn and then the SEC championship game against Georgia?
Yeah, it'll take another little knock. I think Auburn, after their loss to New Mexico State, I think I saw something where they were like a top 65-ish type team in the country now. But yeah, it'll definitely take a little bit of a knock. But we knew that after the LSU game, we said there's nothing left because Kentucky fell off from where they were earlier in the year after they beat Florida. They were ranked for a little while before they got smoked by Georgia and then lost a couple of other games. And then you keep looking. It's like, all right, well, where's Bama going to get that little boost? That's why, Mick, you and I talked about over and over, we need Georgia undefeated. And thankfully, that should happen as long as Georgia Tech doesn't screw anything up tonight, which would be like the upset of upsets. What a year. You have chaos. You have no chaos for the first 12 weeks of the season, and then you're going to have Georgia Tech knock off Georgia tonight. That would be awful. But you do need that. You need Georgia undefeated because they will have won after tonight 29 in a row. And so the strength of schedule metric for Alabama will bump up when they play number 1 Georgia next Saturday in Atlanta. And then it's not just that strength of schedule metric. It's the fact that they beat Georgia, like just that vibe, that little feather in the cap, like just that thing from how much respect Georgia has from the committee and from everyone in the country. Just that alone is going to outweigh anything the metric could do.
Well, I think that's a, really valid point. Quite frankly, you look at, you got to beat who you got to beat. You can only play the people right on your schedule. Yeah.
To be the man, you got to beat the man.
You got to beat them.
He's bringing it anyway.
Yeah, there we go. And, quite frankly, Georgia's the man right now. As much as I hate to say it, they are.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was talking about Big Kev.
Oh yeah, I know.
Your dad dropping the Yuenglings off. Well, let me ask you this, Baron. You were on the team in 2009 that got down in a dogfight with Auburn, and you guys came from behind and beat those guys en route to a championship. Is there anything to this Auburn Jesus, the voodoo down on the plains? What can we tell Chad and the rest of our audience about that?
You and I are both Cubs fans, and we spent 108 years worrying about all the things that affected the game that, were really make-believe.
Right.
And
the curse of the goat is what you're talking about.
The goat and all that other kind of stuff. But, at the end of the day, it is a tough place to play. Frankly, any school in the SEC when you go on the road is tough. I look at last night's game there with Missouri and Arkansas. Arkansas, to me, was my first SEC game, and maybe that was a part of why it was so big to me. But Arkansas, I always thought was a pretty tough place to play. I'm not going to put number 1. I got too much pride in me to give them that and put Auburn and Jesus in the same sentence. But number 2, there's been some crazy stuff happen down there. And what you have to do, like today, you just got to go out and control it yourself.
Right.
And don't allow momentum to build on momentum. This is going to certainly be their Super Bowl. They're already bowl eligible. They can ruin our chances to get to the playoffs. And, that does exist. So what do? You recognize it. But more importantly, you recognize what we have, what they don't have, and you got to go out and execute. Now, and I'm going to be, Mick, you've known me for
a long time,
15 years plus.
Yeah, don't even tell me.
I don't really say. I don't really say.
Wait, we're getting old, man.
I don't really say this often, but I have a very, very, very strong belief in this team.
So do I.
I like the way they play. Case in point, you know,
and
we
there's
talked
been
about
teams where you've told me off the record you didn't like the way they played
didn't
over
like
the
it.
years. Are
You know,
certain players on the team that you would say this guy just doesn't cut it for me?
Yeah. In professional terms, now you have IQ and EQ. This is a big thing now. You know, IQ is like how smart you are in the book.
Yeah.
EQ is your emotional intelligence.
Right.
For me, I always look at body language.
Yeah.
Always look at how do you respond to your teammates when someone else makes a play.
Right.
Here's one of my big takeaways, and we talked about this earlier in the segment about Chattanooga and the strength schedule. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
The second touchdown of the game, Jace McClellan, we're on the 1 or 2 yard line. He kind of gets stuffed. He gets pushed back. He gets pushed forward. The offensive line and really the team pushes him over the goal line. And there was a massive celebration at 11:30 in the morning against Chattanooga. And you can tell that these guys are really excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't think we've always had that in this program. I think we've had it at times. That's the body language that I'm used to seeing, and that's what I'm buying into.
All right. I love to hear that. Chad, let's talk Jalen Milroe against Auburn's defense. How do you feel this matchup works for Alabama or against Alabama?
I think if you asked me that question in September, I'd be really nervous about it. Even early October, because the unofficial hamstring injury that we just kind of continued to see him not use his legs.
I know.
But
we nailed it on here. We said it on here from day one.
That one was all you. I can't even say we. That one was you. But I look at what Milroe's doing now, and he is a true problem for Auburn when it comes to the dual threat. Like, he has now gotten to where he can turn on the jets. He's still got more and more confidence each and every week. And so that was something that it's amazing how he's grown up. In the Texas game, he couldn't go through progressions. He was staring people down. He was just like eyeballing one receiver locked in, and he threw 2 picks because of it. And now he's scrambling. He's creating plays. Tommy Reese, don't not include Tommy Reese, because they have done a nice job of putting together some packages where he's able to excel, but he's able to just create now. And I also just think the confidence, I go back to the Texas game, and I think a lot of people forget that was his 3rd ever official start as the quarterback at Alabama. He started last year against Texas A&M when Bryce got hurt against Arkansas. He played terribly, and Alabama escaped at home. He comes in, he plays Middle Tennessee State. It's not that difficult to look good against the Blue Raiders. So Texas was really his first big game. Even A&M last year, big game, of course, but they weren't that good. So Texas was his big game, and he's had a chance to really evolve. And a lot of times you probably don't want to see that happen and take place during the season. You'd rather see that maybe in camp or something. But credit to him, man. He's worked his way up into now a position where he's become the face of the offense. And he went from everybody's doghouse to now everybody being like, man, can't wait till Milroe's back next year.
Yeah. And you watch reactions to dovetail off what you said. Look at the smile from him after the games.
Yeah.
Of course, you always smile bigger when you win.
Yeah, but very genuine.
It's very genuine, but that's also you can tell that everyone is having a good time.
Yeah.
With Tommy Reese, he comes into a tough situation, a high demand, young guy, a new quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot there that he's not used to. If you look at the quarterbacks that he's coached prior to Milroe, they have absolutely nothing in common. Okay. And I just kind of feel like everybody's sort of we've already kind of got past the introductions and now we're having fun. Kind of like in this place, right?
Yeah, right.
First couple minutes, you meet somebody, where are you from? What are you doing? And then the next thing you're having a great time and you're partying and you have a memory for a lifetime. And I really do think that this team and Mick, again, I'm not one of the guys that drinks the Kool-Aid.
No, you're not.
I really do think that this is a team that has a chance to make a lasting memory for our fan base, for them, for the coaches. And I feel good. I feel confident about today's game.
So do I.
I'll say this real quick. There are certain teams that they just play and they can win. This team legit to me plays against the standard. Like that, Nick Saban always says it. We have to play to a certain standard, but I think this team, like Barron was saying, they actually embrace it. Like they truly fight against a certain standard and not necessarily the opponent.
And it was important for them to get there. All right, we're going to come back. This trio is going to come back later on in the show. We come back, we're going to talk to Thom Abraham. Then we got Andrew Bone. Then we got Kenny from out in Vegas, our Sharp. And then the three of us will reconvene. Can you do that? Can you reconvene?
Yeah.
All right, let's reconvene.
What do I got?
We just got time. We've got to drink a few Bushwhackers.
Yeah. All right.
Some bourbon and Cokes. All right. No, don't go anywhere. More of the original Bama Football Tailgate Show brought to you by Yuengling Larger and Skrewball, the original peanut butter whiskey from the Flora-Bama, right after this.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Got a phone call from a customer says, Barry, I've been waiting 2 years for some good news about interest rates on new Hyundai Tucsons. What you got? Told him what I'll tell you. I've got great news. For the first time ever, new 2024 Tucsons with 0% 60-month financing. Yes, I said it. 5 years of free financing plus no payments until February 2024. Don't wait. You can buy today at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. New 2024 Tucsons with 0% 60-month financing. Plus, no payments until February 2024 is a great deal. So let's get straight to the point. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
With approved credit, see dealer for complete details.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip. The best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape.
Where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Welcome back to the original Bama Football Tailgate Show. As we talk Alabama and Auburn, it is time for the Iron Bowl as we broadcast from the Flora-Bama, Perdido Key. And so this is our home for every Alabama away game. And I want to remind you that, hey, the beach is great, but, right now is an awesome time to head to the Smoky Mountains. Visit Sevierville.com. You're talking about the middle of the Harvest Festival. You got all the Christmas stuff going on up there, which is really amazing. The lights and the mountains. Sevierville has 4 different self-guided tours. They take you along back roads and highlight historical points of interest, beautiful views. Visit Sevierville.com/fall. Always great to talk to our buddy Thom Abraham, 97.7 ESPN The Zone up in North Alabama in Huntsville. He's also the host of the Thom Abraham Show. And he's also the guy that continues to tell us that the SEC champ, if it's Alabama, is definitely in the college football playoff, Tom. So let me start right there. Yeah. We need some chaos. The chaos doesn't happen, then, what does that mean for Alabama? If everybody wins,
everybody wins. I don't even know if we need the chaos. I can't see a scenario where a 12-1 SEC champion that had played fully half of their season against top 30 teams and won them all except for one. This is presuming an Alabama win over Georgia, and beat the number 1 team in the country in the conference championship game. How do you keep that team out of the playoff? It's inconceivable. So I'm wondering if that scenario does happen. I'm wondering what they're going to do with 12-1 Georgia. To be honest with you, if it's a close game, what do you do with the team that you've had number 1 or number 2 all year long, and they lose a close game in their conference championship, and they're 12-1, and it's their first loss in 3 years since the last time they lost in the SEC championship game? If that were to happen, and a lot has to happen, starting with today, this is a playoff game for Alabama. They've all been playoff games. The LSU game, the Tennessee game. Ever since the Texas loss, this team has been playing playoff games all season long. And I believe that the SEC championship game will be a playoff game as well. Only if Alabama takes care of business today against Auburn. And we know what happens in that stadium. It is a freaky place to play. It is a house of horrors for Nick Saban. He is fully 4-7 in his career there. He lost the 3 times he went there with LSU, 4-4 with Alabama. Where do you ever hear those kinds of numbers associated to Nick Saban? But that's what happens at Jordan-Hare Stadium. So a lot of trepidation, a lot of nerves going into this one, but it basically is a playoff game for Alabama, and so will the SEC championship game be one as well.
What do you take away from last week's Auburn loss to New Mexico State? They're better than I think we want to give them credit, New Mexico State. Obviously, Auburn's not as bad as they played, but to get beat at home 31-10, were they preparing for Alabama?
I don't know what they were thinking or what they were preparing for. What I don't understand is after they were punched in the mouth a couple of times, how everybody says you can't flip the switch. You know who flipped the switch? Florida State. They were down 13-0 to UNA, North Alabama, and they beat them 52-13. They just went off on them. How Auburn wasn't able to, okay, enough of this, and let's go. This is an inferior opponent. They do not have the talent that we have all the way across the board. They lost to the team that Auburn beat 59-10. That UMass team beat New Mexico State. There's nothing that makes any kind of sense that game would go the way it went. And I'm going to tell you something else, Mick. If they were still playing right now, New Mexico State's still dominating them because it wasn't a fluke. They doubled them up in yards. I don't know. I don't understand how it could possibly happen. And the other thing is I doubt we see that Auburn team today. Because this is just how they are. It's an unbelievable scenario.
Yeah, and then that kind of sets us up. A lot of people have suggested that because of Auburn playing that poorly, that they're going to rise up against Alabama today, that is going to motivate them to work a lot harder and that they're going to bring their best. And then, and you talked about it. Nick Saban struggled down on the Plains, right? Alabama's had some wins down there, but most of them under Nick Saban have been, look, think about it. The 2009's win down there was, last drive. Last time they were down there 4 overtimes, and it took Bryce Young, making the drive that won him the Heisman Trophy.
Against the 500 Auburn team. That was a 10-1 Alabama team against a 6-5 Auburn team. And then, of course, Auburn won in 2017 and 2019. Mac Jones throwing, 6 touchdown passes in 2019, but 2 of them went to Auburn, 4 of them to Alabama. So they lose that one. And, of course, Mac was a backup at that time, but still, it doesn't matter. I mean, the goofy things that happen, they've been double-digit favorites. Now, this 14.5 is the biggest number I've ever seen Alabama favored at Auburn. I know they were 11.5 for kick six, and they were 11.5 last year, 2 years ago when they went down there. The Mac Jones game, I think they were 6 or 7 point favorite in that one. But look, you need to get beat by New Mexico State to get up for the Iron Bowl. I don't think any of that stuff really matters. What I do think matters is the first 7 or 8 minutes of the game. If Alabama comes out and punches them in the mouth early, I mean, just stuffs them defensively, sticks a touchdown in, their dauber will go down. Their confidence will. Here we go again. This is bigger and badder than New Mexico State, and we're going to get rolled here. If somehow Auburn is able to do something early and get up early and get that crowd lathered up, and then it's going to be a battle for all 60 minutes.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting to me. I'm just like, I know that we've seen this before, right? I mean, but I look at these two teams, and I feel like this Alabama team right now, the defense has been great. The second half adjustments have been the best I can remember since Kirby Smart was the defensive coordinator. It seems like every single game they get better as the contest goes on. The offense with the deep balls, and then Milroe running the football, then the running game. It's going to be tough for Auburn to stop. And I agree with you. I think if Alabama does what they've been doing, and Nick Saban's kind of preached that all week, hey, forget about what happened last week. Forget about what the records are. That's what makes this a rivalry. But Alabama just seems so much more talented and so much more locked in this year. Even in those past years, like that 2021 season, they were trending towards not playing well on the road.
Right.
This team, they're just trending on beating up teams that they're better than.
Well, they've also gotten better throughout the year. We have seen a number of years where Alabama they come out of the gate on fire, especially when they were playing those non-conference games at Jerry's World or in Atlanta or whatever, and they'd be matched up against another top 5 team, and they'd blow them out of the building. We've seen Alabama teams play very well early in the year, and then as the year went on, injuries, whatever, other people catching up to them, and they've kind of kind of stumbled to the finish line a little bit, if you will. This Alabama team stumbled out of the gate and has gotten better and better and better and better as they've played more. Milroe's played more. I think Tommy Reese has become a better play caller and has grown into the job. Who would have thought Tommy Reese is up for the Broyles Award as the top assistant coach in college football? I mean, it's crazy that he's been nominated for that. Where this is a guy that they wanted. There was questions whether or not he'd last after the South Florida game, whether they were going to give him a ride home back to Tuscaloosa after that game at South Florida. So the whole organization has gotten better and better, and they've been playing their best ball, down the stretch here. And they just need to maintain all of that and not think about the freaky stuff that happens, the ghosts, don't get upset, the rivalry, all of that. Just go out there, execute, and just take it to these guys early and often.
He's Thom Abraham, 97.7 ESPN The Zone up in the North Alabama, Huntsville area, hanging out with us here on the original Bama Football Tailgate Show. Alabama and Auburn play at 2:30, Jordan-Hare Stadium. All right, let's talk about some of the other games. I think we're kind of on the same page with Alabama. Florida State lost their quarterback, pretty gruesome injury. And there's people saying, hey, even if they beat Florida and they win against Louisville in their conference championship game, they could be undefeated and kept out of the college football playoff. I doubt that happens. What do you think?
I think you're right, especially if they look decent doing it. Now, I'm not so sure that they beat Florida tonight. Now, Florida's also playing with their backup quarterback.
I know.
And again, I think the line's only 6.5 there, which would be a little bit surprising because, Florida's a middle of the pack SEC team. Why are they only a 6.5 point favorite over the great mighty Florida State Seminoles? So it tells you a little bit about the way Vegas, views Florida State. Maybe they're over their skis a little bit. They had a great win early in the year against LSU. The ACC is down. Feels like the ACC is always down. We wanted Florida State to come up and Miami to come up and Clemson to still be good, but now Clemson's not great. So they've just swapped spots with Clemson. It feels like there's one team in the entire ACC. North Carolina's not bad, but I think Florida's going to give them a game tonight. That kid for Florida that came in, he looked really, really good, and I thought he did a pretty decent job. And I think that the pollsters and the committee are going to look real close at him. If Florida State looks good and beats Florida going away, and then handles a tough Louisville team and looks good doing it, then they're going to get the Ohio State treatment from 2015 when they had Cardale Jones in there, and they're going to get their spot in the championship. I'm not sure though that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think Florida's going to give them a game, and Louisville's scary.
To me, the team that Alabama needs to lose is Washington, because I think once you get Washington out of the way, then all of a sudden you can basically minimize the Pac-12 because it's dissolving anyhow, right? So, right. What kind of negotiating ability are they going to have going into, hey, we got a one-loss champ and they got a one-loss champ? The strength of schedule out there isn't great. Alabama will have to have beaten number 1 Georgia to get there, and then their conference is folding, right? So Washington, we need them to lose to Oregon or lose to Washington State.
Yeah, there's that one. I still am very interested to see how ultimately they're going to handle the Texas situation.
Yeah.
If it ends up Texas and Alabama for that last spot and they're both one-loss teams, Alabama's strength of schedule took a mighty hit by playing UTC. They were number 1 for the last 4 or 5 weeks. They had the number 1 strength of schedule, and Texas was about number 8. After the UTC game, you go play an FCS team. They came out of that, and their strength of schedule is now number 24.
I know.
And Tennessee's is number 2, Texas, the other UT. They're number 2 in strength of schedule. So Texas has played a legit schedule. There's no doubt about it. And they beat Alabama. It's not like they've had a popcorn schedule. So that's the one at the end of the day that these guys are going to have to do some serious soul searching. A 12-1 Alabama with a win over Georgia, have to do that, versus a 12-1 Texas, avenging their loss to Oklahoma. They're hoping that it's Oklahoma, not Oklahoma State or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say about the Pac or the Big 12 if Oklahoma State gets there, and look at the people that have beaten them?
Right.
South Alabama beat them to death, and they lost again. So this is just anytime you're trying to squeeze 4 teams into a scenario that probably deserves to have 8, not 12, but at least 8. You're going to have these kind of situations. So I'm glad this is the last year of it. This is the chaos that we had hoped for years of this thing, so that they would have changed and expanded the field earlier. This is the year, though, that you're going to have some real deserving teams left out.
All right, Thom, let's do it again next week for the SEC championship game. Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Thom Abraham, 97.7 ESPN The Zone up in Huntsville, and also the host of the Thom Abraham Show. When we come back, we're going to talk more Alabama and Auburn. The Tailgate Show rolls on after this.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yuengling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yuengling, bring the goods.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at DanielMooreArt.com.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and we're excited that football is back. The Flora-Bama is proud to support Alabama football, and we invite you to join us at Flora-Bama Old River Grill for a game day experience like no other. We have over 40 TVs and a brand new game day menu that includes endless wings, Santa Fe egg rolls, street corn nachos, and so much more. Bring your friends and join us for all the college and NFL games. Flora-Bama's Old River Grill, open at 11 a.m. daily, right across the street from the world famous Flora-Bama.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Skrewball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Skrewball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Skrewball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to SkrewballWhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Skrewball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors. 35.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This is my great escape.
Where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Welcome back to the original Bama Football Tailgate Show as we preview the Iron Bowl. Alabama and Auburn playing on the Plains, 2:30. The Crimson Tide are looking for an 11-1 season, and they want to stay alive for the college football playoff. Auburn looking to play spoiler after a disappointing loss last week. Our show's presented by Yuengling Larger, America's oldest brewery, and this remote presented by Skrewball, the original peanut butter whiskey. And as we look over there on the other side of the camera, and for those of you guys listening on radio, you recognize this voice from On3 and BamaOnline, our longtime friend and guest, Andrew Bone, to talk recruiting. What's up, Bone? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. How you been? You all right?
I'm doing great. I'm ready for this football game. I think everyone's ready for this football game. And the question that I have for you is, as I look at the newlifeart.com promo code Bama Tailgate, 25% off your orders there right now. Could Alabama get a Daniel Moore out of this game? And let's talk about the recruiting battles that these two teams are involved in as well.
I mean, you never know. They might get a Daniel Moore out of this one. It just kind of depends on who's going to make a big play out there, and will Daniel Moore decide he wants to make a lot of memories out of it. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, you look at Alabama and Auburn. I would say during the Bryant Harsin years, there just wasn't a lot of juice between the two sides. I mean, Alabama was, they were battling Georgia and LSU and Ohio State for top end recruits, which they still do to this day. But with Hugh Freeze coming in, I think more so right off the bat, back in December. He was going after Alabama commitments. He was going after top end guys. We saw kind of a late surge there with Auburn with Tony Mitchell, with James Smith and Quay Rousseau. Even though they had been visiting throughout the season, they certainly became even bigger targets for Hugh Freeze right off the bat. And even though he didn't land those guys, we kind of knew that over the next year and upcoming years, things were going to be a little bit tougher. Alabama wasn't going to be able to just take whoever they wanted and not have to worry really about their in-state foe. And now we're seeing with Hugh Freeze, he's got a staff that's certainly recruiting hard. You got a lot of backing on the NIL front as well. But at the end of the day, kids are still going to pick where they want to go, and we've seen some kids end up committing to Alabama this cycle. We've seen some commit to Auburn. We've seen Auburn be able to flip Perry Thompson from Foley from Alabama. But we're not seeing, as far as late in this process, there's not really a ton of recruiting battles between the two sides as far as uncommitted prospects. You look at a guy like Favor Edwin, who's an offensive tackle out of Georgia, just set an official visit to Alabama for December the 8th. Auburn's been, kind of considered the favorite for him, maybe over the last month or so, maybe the last 2 months. But, a lot kind of depends on, how hard will Alabama, make a really strong run at this kid. This kid that didn't play high school football until this season. So he's a kid that's kind of a work in progress, but he's 6'8", 290 pounds. So there's a lot to work with there. He just may not see the field for a couple seasons, but that's a kid that we could easily end up seeing a battle between the two sides. One in-state kid that might be at Auburn this weekend. I know the Auburn side's reported that he'll be there, but I think it's still kind of up in the air. Is Kevin Riley, in-state running back from Tuscaloosa County, currently committed to Miami, but Alabama's been pushing hard for him. He says it's an Alabama-Miami battle right now, but will we potentially see Auburn get in it late? And then I think the biggest one that we're following closely is Ryan Williams. Ryan's been committed to Alabama for over a year. He's one of the top overall players in the country. He's in the 2025 class. There's some speculation that he might reclassify and jump in that 2024 class, but has not made that decision quite yet. Auburn's been coming after him very hard for a long time. They're trying to flip him. He'll be on the plains this weekend. He has also been back to Tuscaloosa 6 times this season, including the last home game. He says all the right things. He says he's solid. He says he's recruiting others to Alabama. He wants to, play for Nick Saban, play for Holman Wiggins, the wide receivers coach. So everything that he has said has made us believe that he is solid with the decision. And I think he's told Alabama, hey, there's nothing to worry about here. But you go onto an Auburn website or read their message boards. I mean, they are very confident that he is going to flip to Auburn, which, I don't buy that just yet. I think he's a pretty firm commitment, but we do know that Auburn's going to continue to, do everything they can to flip him away from Alabama. They've had a couple wins on the recruiting trail for Alabama against Alabama this cycle. They're going to try again, but in the end, I do think Ryan sticks with the Crimson Tide.
Are there any players that Alabama is going after who have committed to Auburn, or is it just all Auburn trying to basically clip away Alabama blue chippers?
Yeah, I think the only one that Alabama's gone after, throughout the season. And now we've seen some Auburn commitments in Tuscaloosa for games this season. DeMarcus Riddick, in-state linebacker from Chilton County, who back in July committed to Auburn over Alabama. Now he was committed to Georgia, but a lot of people expected him to go to Alabama. In kind of the final 3 or 4 weeks, momentum shifted strongly in favor of Auburn. So he commits to Auburn. He's been to Tuscaloosa twice this fall, but it's kind of weird because there's not really a lot going on between the two sides. I think, he just wanted to come in for the game, LSU game, Texas game, two pretty big games that were going down at Bryant Denny. And that was really it. I mean, there wasn't really anything going on between the two sides before or after those visits. So don't really see anything happening there. We've seen Malik Blockton, defensive lineman out of Pike Road, visit Alabama a couple times. And, I know he's come out and said he's a solid commitment, but, we really hadn't seen a major, major push from the Alabama side with Malik Blockton to this point. Now, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Probably not. But I know that he is, considered a solid commitment. The only Auburn commitment that I would say is still, in communication with Alabama is Perry Thompson. And, this is a kid that has been committed to, was committed to Alabama for over a year prior to his flip to Auburn. And, I know that he has a lot of good relationships with coaches, players, commitments, connected to Alabama. And, he's been to Tuscaloosa twice this season. I don't know if he's going to flip, but the contact has remained between him and Alabama. So as far as Alabama still pursuing any of the Auburn commitments, he would be the only one at this time as far as, guys that they would still, leave the door open for. And, I'm sure that, despite how things went down, now you got to remember back in July when he flipped to Auburn, there's a kid that was telling Alabama that he was very solid, that he was not going to flip, that, there was nothing to worry about. Even, when he said that he was going to Auburn for their final weekend in July, instead of going to Alabama for their big cookout, they were trying to get all their top commitments to attend. I thought there was some major concern on that front at that time. I was like, there's no way if he goes to Auburn instead of Alabama, he's flipping to Auburn. But he kept telling Alabama, I'm solid. I'm not flipping. He ends up going to Auburn, flips his commitment that weekend. And, despite all that, Alabama is still very much interested in Perry. And they would, I think they would welcome him back with open arms. But it's going to be a pretty big challenge. I just don't see him flipping once again, even though we've seen some crazy, seen a lot of crazier things happen. Go back to the Reuben Foster days. You can go back to Cyrus Kwanjo announcing on National Signing Day for Auburn. For probably one of the few signing day commitments that I've ever seen where the kid does not sign with the school. They sign with another school a couple of days later. So crazier things have happened, but I don't see this happening.
Well, Bone, got a lot of love for you guys over at On3. Teamed up with you last year. BamaOnline came into existence. You guys are blowing it up over there. Tell everyone how they can follow you guys at BamaOnline.
Yeah, you can go to BamaOnline.com. Check out all of our content. You can go on there and sign up for $1 for 1 month of unlimited access to our site, to our message board. And that's kind of where I live. I live on the message board. So if you want to talk to me every single hour of the day, that is where I am on the BOL Roundtable. So come check us out and read all of our great team coverage from our guys on the football, basketball front right now. We kind of bring it every single day on Bama Online. So go check it out. $1 for 1 month, or we got a special Iron Bowl deal right now. You can sign up for a 1 year subscription for half the cost of the of what it is normally. So go check it out and go see us at BamaOnline.com.
All right, we'll do that. And guys, don't forget right now with the holidays coming up, a Bama Online subscription would be great. Team that up with New Life Art and use the code Bama Tailgate. You get 25% off all purchases. That takes care of your Alabama family member. You want to make somebody happy. You got Bone for the message board and all that stuff. And then, obviously New Life Art. We decorate our houses like museums from New Life Art. And Bone, you use that as well. 25% off all purchases. So all we're doing here is just giving. This is the season of giving on the original Bama Football Tailgate Show. All right, guys, when we come back, we're going to talk more Alabama and Auburn. Iron Bowl coverage continues, and we will return after this.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yuengling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yuengling, bring the goods.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and we're excited that football is back. The Flora-Bama is proud to support Alabama football, and we invite you to join us at Flora-Bama Over Grill for a game day experience like no other. We have over 40 TVs and a brand new game day menu that includes endless wings, Santa Fe egg rolls, street corn nachos, and so much more. Bring your friends and join us for all the college and NFL games. Flora-Bama's Old River Grill, open at 11 a.m. daily, right across the street from the world famous Flora-Bama.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Skrewball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Skrewball combines 2 of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Skrewball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to SkrewballWhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Skrewball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This is my great escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Welcome back to the original Bama Football Tailgate Show. It's Iron Bowl week. Alabama against Auburn, 2:30 down on the Plains. And we appreciate you guys hanging out with us here, as our show is always brought to you by Yuengling Larger, America's oldest brewery, and a remote presented by Skrewball, the original peanut butter whiskey. But let me tell you guys about Pearl River Resort. They bring you the pick segment each week, and we love hanging out at the Golden Moon Hotel and Casino and the sports book at the Timeouts Lounge. They offer traditional sports betting in which guests can bet on all professional leagues, whether it be soccer or NFL or whatever. And then the professional football and sports leagues to go along with major college athletics. 20 TVs with feeds to all the major sports networks, 12 state-of-the-art wager boards, and 3 stations, wager stations are there as well. So check it out. That's Pearl River Resort. All right, he's Kenny Odds. Kenny Odds. That's the Wizard of Odds. Kenny White out in Vegas. I just gave you a new nickname, but tell everyone about the power ratings.
I like that nickname, Kenny Odds. That's a good one. Power ratings are 5 sports going strong right now, and it's not just really about the power ratings. For $20, you get all the power ratings for those 5 sports: college football, NFL, college basketball, NBA, and NHL. But you get the projections for each game. So you don't really have to do the work. You don't need to go look up Ohio State and see they're a 126 and Michigan's a 125 and add home field. If you want to, you can do all that work. But I've already got it out, spread out for you on the spreadsheet. All the projections are done, projected final scores of every game. So not how many they're going to win by, how many points are going to be scored in the game for all sports every single day. $20 a month, best value in sports betting history.
I like that, Kenny. And then Reagan from R&R Cigar will let you know what he's got going on later on in the show. But good to see you, Reagan, as well. And here we are with 2 weeks left. We got this week and then championship week. And Reagan right now somehow with a 1-game lead over the rest of the pack. Reagan's 23-16, Kenny's 22-17, and then I'm 16-23. Last week, Reagan went 3-1, Kenny 2-2, and I went 1-3. So here we go. We did our digital pick, and for those of you that are hanging out with us right now on our radio network across the state of Alabama and Pensacola, that's Bama Tailgate on YouTube. So go by and swing and check out our channel, and you can get that pick from the digital segment. All right, let's get into this one, though. We got a hotbed of activity, and it starts Ohio State at Michigan. Michigan has won this game twice, the last 2 after Ohio State dominated. It's a 3.5-point spread in this one. And this is one of those games that is going to be it's going to be a good game for Alabama because someone that's ahead of them in the standings is going to lose, which is going to help Alabama. Obviously, whoever wins most likely is going to make the college football playoff. And I'll start this one off. This is a really tough game. 3.5. It's not much of a spread. Michigan's won the last 2. Michigan has had, obviously a lot of distractions off the field with the, with the cheating scandal, and Jim Harbaugh has been suspended. He won't coach this game. They barely got by Maryland, and I'm wondering how they're going to get by Ohio State. I mean, Ryan Day has to have this game, or they're going to run him out of town. And so I'm going with Ohio State just because Jim Harbaugh is in there. I think that not having their head coach is going to cost them in this one. All right, Kenny, you next.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a factor in the game. When you don't have your head coach on the field, leading the team. We saw how emotional their interim coach was 2 weeks ago, crying on the field after the win over Penn State. We knew there had to be a letdown against Maryland. Well, they ended up covering the first half, but they did have the letdown in the second half. I think it comes back to haunt them this week. If anything, we could still win the game with Ohio State, even if Michigan wins by 1, 2, or 3 points. And I think it's going to be a very close game. Both quarterbacks have had a great year. Kyle McCord, 22 touchdowns, 4 INTs. J.J. McCarthy, 18 touchdowns, 4 INTs. I'll take the revenge factor and the Buckeyes against Michigan's coachless team.
Okay, you and I agree. Reagan, it's your turn. What do you think?
I mean, what do you say, right? Do you trust Jim Harbaugh? I personally don't. But, I mean, he's not coaching the game. Do you trust Ryan Day? I don't like this game at all. I really don't. I think it's terrible. I hate picking it, period. But I'm going to go with the Buckeyes. I think that's the safe bet, but some kind of bet.
Yeah, well, we've all agreed so far on the first game. We all took Ohio State. All right, second game.
Well, there's also a little bit of gamesmanship going on now, right? Is it worth bucking the trend? You know, can like if I keep picking the same games Kenny picks, you know, like can I really lose?
That's why we go in a different order, though.
That's why it's a different order every time,
but then,
right?
I mean, I still got to make the games. Maybe Kenny should go first every time so that
It's funny you say that because as we pick Florida State, Florida, you're up first.
Florida State and Florida. Okay, well, my pick's not changing on this one anyway. I'm going with Florida State. I like Tate Rodemaker. I've liked Tate Rodemaker since he set foot on campus. You know, I think I've always liked him over Jordan Travis anyway, since he came to school. For me, it's FSU. And I don't know. I think FSU's got the better team. I think they got the better defense. And, you know, I'm going with the Noles.
All right, I'm up second, and I don't really know. Both teams are with backup quarterbacks, right? So whose backup quarterback is going to be the one to get the job done? I'm going with Florida just because, you know, at this point, riding with the home dog is kind of the formula that I've used. And, you know, as I change
for last place.
Yeah, for last place. So you at this point, you got to stick with what got you where you got, right? And for me, that's last. But no, I'm going with Florida. I think this is going to be a defensive game, and Florida's going to have a tough time scoring with the backup quarterback, and Florida State's going to make some mistakes. And you know, I also need to pick against you. So, Kenny,
I mean, are you mathematically eliminated at this point?
I think I'm pretty close to it.
Okay. I mean, I was just curious. I don't know, but I mean, like, I'd have to imagine that, like, you'd have to win out and I'd have to lose out, I think.
Yeah. I'm terrible at math.
You'd have to go 10-0, I think.
Yeah. But
and I'd have to go 0-10.
And we only have 8 picks left.
Yeah. All right, Kenny, what's your turn now?
I'm with Florida State. I'll lay the 6.5 with the Seminoles here. And yeah, it's Tate Rodemaker in his 4th year now. He's a redshirt junior. He's been in the program. He has experience the last 2 years. What I've seen him on the field, good quarterback. Max Brown, a redshirt freshman for Florida, is going to go. You know, that's going to be a lot of pressure on him. And the Florida Gators has just not had a good year. I know they're gonna sell out and they're gonna give it their all, and it's a rivalry game. And I think the Seminoles are just that much better though than the Gators. So yeah, give me Florida State. I'll lay the 6.5.
All right. Well, there we go. Now for the final game, Alabama heads to Auburn to play in the Iron Bowl, and it's a 14.5-point spread. Auburn laid an egg last week against New Mexico State. They were beaten 31-10. Alabama has been on quite a roll. So I'll start with you, Kenny. You're up first. Alabama and Auburn. What do you think?
Yeah, this number, I'm right on my number. I made Alabama 14.5. So I know where you guys are going, or at least I know where Reagan's going. So for me to get back in the standings, I'm going to take that home dog in the rivalry game, the home rivalry, and off an embarrassing loss. But New Mexico State, from the Conference USA, playing for the Conference USA Championship next week, is a very good football team. And that was one of my better bets last week, because I thought Auburn would be looking ahead to this game. They were. This is a big game. I just hope that they can hang around. They hung around last year and got a touchdown late to cover. Hope I can get a backdoor cover again here just to catch up with Reagan.
All right, Kenny. And don't forget Kenny White's power ratings as you make your picks. And a lot of football. You got college football. You got the NHL. You got the NBA. Kenny covers it all at Kenny White's power ratings. All right, Reagan, you heard what Kenny picked. Your turn, Alabama and Auburn. You're giving up 14.5 if you're the Crimson Tide on the road in a rivalry game.
I've heard a lot of talk about, these people were looking ahead to they were looking ahead to Alabama, and I just got to be honest. I just don't think that that Auburn's very good. So I'm going. I mean, and New Mexico State, what a nice story. That's really good for them. I'm happy for them. But I am going with Alabama, obviously. What, you think I'm going to get on the Tailgate Show and take somebody other than...
You got cigars to sell.
You got cigars to sell.
I'm taking Alabama. I mean, obviously, what are we doing here? Like, if we're not taking Alabama, then, you know, like, what are we doing here? So
well,
I'm all in on Alabama. I don't think very highly of, you know, I don't think highly. I don't know. What else am I supposed to say?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. All right. Well, tell everyone what you got going on. I know you're, hours away from being a dad again, but also R&R Cigar. You guys are going to be watching the Iron Bowl, and you're going to be watching the NFL, and you're going to be watching MMA. You got it all over there.
Man, we do. And it's a great time. I mean, obviously, I'm, really excited about being a dad now. We've got a super great Black Friday special. It's first 25 people get a free $20 gift card. Nobody does deals like this. But we're doing 30% off the entire store. You buy 20 cigars, you get 30% off. You get all kinds of cool stuff at R&R on Black Friday. I might not be there because I think I'm going to be a new dad, but it's going to be an awesome day. And, hopefully I'll be celebrating, being the greatest at this, picking contest over Kenny White, the Wizard of Oz. I can't think of very much that would be better than, beating the Wizard of Oz at, at something like this, because, I mean, that's just crazy to think about.
Well, it is. And something else.
Dude, he's he's the best in the business. And I'm doing this, and it's pure luck if I if I was able to beat him, So
you guys have both had a good run. Well, how about this though? R&Rcigars.com, 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code Bama Tailgate when you spend over $200. And then also at RNRcigars.com for $69, which is a price you picked, the Victory Cigar Sampler is also available as well.
What a deal.
That is a great deal for $69.
You can't get a better deal.
Well, you guys, Kenny and Reagan, thanks for coming on, and have a great holiday weekend. And we'll tally it up one more time next week, and we'll know what the standings are with one more week to go, and then we'll crown the champ for the next game after that, which is hopefully in the playoffs.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Tide. All right, more of the original Bama Football Tailgate Show coming up.
Thanks, dude.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Based on the past 2 years, you've heard nothing but bad news with interest rates. But when you can buy new Hyundai Santa Fe's with 0% financing for 5 years, that's great news. And it's here right now. For the first time ever, new Santa Fe is now at Tuscaloosa Hyundai with 0% 60-month financing. 0 for 60 months. Yes, I said it. 5 years of free financing. Plus, you make no payments until February of 2024. If you've been thinking about buying, don't wait. New Tuscaloosa Hyundai Santa Fe's with 0 60-month financing plus no payments until February 2024 is great news. So let's get straight to the point. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
With approved credit, see dealer for complete details.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around, and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip. The best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape.
Where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Welcome back to the original Bama Football Tailgate Show as we hang out with you from the Flora-Bama here on the line, right on the line between Alabama and Florida. Perdido Key with Chad Anderson and Baron Huber. I'm Mick Gillispie. Let me remind you guys, the show is brought to you by Yuengling Larger. We've had the cold Yuenglings flowing so far. Skrewball, the original peanut butter whiskey. In Chad's honor, I had the salty nuts shot. And look, we got friends here. We're hanging out. We're talking Alabama and Auburn. That's a 2:30 kickoff at Jordan-Hare Stadium. So now it's time to get into this matchup a little bit. Chad, I see you with a big grin on your face.
I just like
something out there. Just throw something out there.
I just like how you've got everybody floating around behind you there.
Oh, look, this has been fun, man. I mean, we've got the Clarks here, Randall and Holt Clark. We got Barron's whole family's here. Hadley.
I got my daughter here with me. Hadley, can you say Roll Tide?
Roll Tide.
Hadley, what school do you go to?
I go to Randolph.
Randolph, and that's in North Alabama.
It's in Huntsville.
Huntsville. So there's a lot of people from Huntsville that listen on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and that's one of our affiliates. So make sure that you give Hadley a big Roll Tide, and welcome all of you guys back to the show as well as we hang out. I don't know where you went, Chad. You just disappeared on me. All right, guys. Let's talk about Alabama and Auburn. Okay, we're told that because Auburn lost to New Mexico State, they're going to be locked in. And that Nick Saban's going to have trouble because Alabama hasn't beaten Auburn 4 straight times since Bear Bryant was head coach. And on top of it, Barron and Chad, Hugh Freeze is one of the only coaches to beat Nick Saban twice in a row when he was at Ole Miss.
Yeah, there's a lot there to digest, and I suppose you would add the fact that we're playing in Auburn to it. But, here's the thing. I would say since 2020, when we won the national championship, this team has somewhat of a killer instinct to it. I really do feel that way. And all the other side stuff aside, I think we're going to get it done today.
Adam gives us a super chat. He says, Mick, what worries you most about the Auburn game? Do you think their defense can give us problems? I'm going to throw it out there for you guys. Baron, you first and then Chad.
What worries me most, honestly, is about us. You come out and you kind of putz around a little bit, let the crowd get into it. You let the whole, mystique, and I'm putting that in air quotes for folks that can't see me in radio. You got to come out and dominate. And I will tell you this much. This is a thing that I love about this team that we hadn't had in several years. When you play on the road, you have to control the pace of the game.
That's true.
You have to control. And you know how you control it? By running the football.
Yes.
And we have a plethora of running backs that can get downhill, get us 4 or 5 yards at a time, and slow the game down.
Yeah.
You have to slow it down. Now, there is going to be a period in this game today where Auburn is going to, do a lot of really good things. And we have to take that punch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how you respond to that punch. And I think we have the team to do it. I think we have the running game to do it, more importantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we get it done.
That's right. What about you, Chad?
Well, Baron nailed it on part of it. I mean, we've talked about it some this week, and that you just have to survive, since we're on radio, the bleep storm, and just all the things that can go wrong. And go back and look at like previous Iron Bowls that took place there. 2021, I mentioned this, Jamison Williams, of all people, gets kicked out of the game in the first half, targeting on special team. It's just like stupid stuff,
Right.
He was just making a play, made a bad play because he lowered his helmet and the whole thing, and he's gone. And Bryce Young didn't have a lot of weapons that year. I mean, he was down to Mechie at that point. He definitely didn't have the stable like Tua and Mac had during their time. Go back to when Mac was quarterback. Bama had a lead, and remember, Auburn had 1 second on the clock, and that was a very
the field goal
second on the clock to kick a field goal.
I remember that. I forgot about that.
It kind of gave him a little bit of momentum. Mac Jones, Bama's about to score. To go up 8 points, pressured, throws a out pass to Najee. It hits him in the back, ricochets to a defender. They carry.
Yeah, I'm not trying to interrupt you. I don't like that.
But
he's just bringing them all up.
It's all the
bad
BS, Like that's all I mean. It's just the weird stuff does happen, but at the same time, they're self-inflicted. Like, it's not that Auburn does something; it's that Bama does something. That's the problem. It's Jamison Williams. He did that to himself. Mac Jones. He made a bad pass in a bad situation. He just basically tossed it up and hoped Najee would turn around. In 2013, with the kick six, Alabama had the ball inside Auburn's 25 twice with less than 8 minutes to go in the game, and they couldn't convert on fourth down, and they couldn't make a field goal. Like, it's all like the whole voodoo thing. I get it, but it's all Alabama inflicted voodoo.
Right.
Like, Auburn doesn't do anything. It's that Bama screws Bama. And that's what's happened in some of these games. Like, Bama's been the problem, really, on some of these. They haven't finished the job.
Well, one of two things. One, you take really good notes, which I applaud you for. Or two, you've been extremely sober during these games. Either or, I'm extremely impressed. But
not us.
But I will say this, that I think is a little bit different in the Iron Bowls that I've been a part of. With Bryce Young, the last time we played, I kind of feel like we may have crushed a lot of that mystique was there.
I agree.
We went in there on a 90-plus yard drive and smoked it.
Yeah, right.
And
maybe that's the end of it.
I think that's a big thing. Mick, you call baseball games.
Yeah,
and
I do.
There's certain things in sports you have to get over before you get there. And that's something that's not been talked about, quite frankly, this whole week.
Yeah.
Is we really got over that hump. We were the better team that year. We beat them in every single – and to your Jameis Winston or not Jameis Winston,
Jamison Williams.
Jamison Williams. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
J-Mo, yeah.
Yeah, J-Mo. Yeah, he gets ejected, and it starts getting this whole feeling like, oh, my God, here we go again. Here's the whole, everything's against us. And we came back and won that and really stuck a splinter in their eye, and I think we should build off of that. You got guys on this roster that have won there. You got guys on this roster that have lost there. And there's just something different this year. Guys, I'm not a stats guy. You know me, Mick. I've never been there. I just kind of go off of feel and emotion is what it is. But I don't think that this is the kind of team that's going to go in there and worry about anything that happened before today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I do. The thing that worries me.
They're writing their own chapter.
Right. The thing that worries me is the penalties. Let's not get the pre-snap penalties. Let's snap the ball.
We've gotten better at that.
Seth McLaughlin, snap the ball. Milroe, make louder. Work together on that, because if you don't shoot yourself in the foot, think about this. Chad said this, and I'm going to agree with him on this. After the Texas A&M game, Chad's like, Alabama just kicked their ass, and it was only like a 6-point win or whatever it was, right? 4-point win. But you knew Alabama was by far the better team. They never really put them away, but it was close, right? And then since that point, Alabama's kind of got the ball rolling. That's what I want to see today. I want to see Alabama not make the mistakes and beat them like they beat Chattanooga last week.
Well, I mean, trust me, I'd like to see 66 points on the board. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Gonna play us a little harder than I think Chattanooga did. But you also have a team here that I think is trying to make their own name.
Yeah.
And I think they like that. I think they like that challenge. I think they realize that they're different than everything that's been here previous. And I think that's important. I hear the whole standard thing, and actually, to be honest with you, that pisses me off. I hate that term. Absolutely, I hate that term, because we've never been a standard program.
Right.
Under Coach Saban, we've been a process program. Now, maybe
tell me what this means as a former player. What is the process program?
There is no standard. It's the process. The process takes care of all of it.
Right.
The standard is a joke, in my opinion, and I cringe when I hear it.
So you don't like standard. When people say the Bama standard. You say it's
don't
the
like
process because it's the process of learning how to do it the right way.
The standard was created by the process. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So focus on what gets you to the, quote, standard, and it is the process. I think in years past, we've had the talent, we've had the play calling, we've had some luck, but we haven't had the I'm trying to in radio terms, we haven't had people that actually just want to go out there and win no matter what.
Right. He talks about all the time. It's not just winning, it's beating your opponent.
You beat them. And I'm going to tell you right now, number 26, Jam Miller, the entire season turned around in the Ole Miss game when Jam Miller smoked the guy on kickoff.
Yeah.
We score a touchdown. He comes back and smokes him again. And our entire season has changed since then. Number 26 is one of my favorite players. I think
I love it when I hear you guys, like when Ryan Anderson's on one of my other shows, dude, and he's like, I love Chris Braswell. And you're like, what? You're like, he reminds me of what I did.
Yes.
And Ryan was a very physical, guy that got in some tails.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, so you look at him and you're like, I like that.
Baron, I want to ask you on that. The Ole Miss game earlier in the week, we talked about certain key plays in the year. You bring up Jam Miller in that game. I thought that the pass from Milroe to Niblack for a touchdown was a key swing point in the season because, one, Niblack makes a tremendous play, but two, Milroe, if I remember correctly, got basically knocked on his hindside pretty hard, and it took him a minute to get up, but he almost acted like the Undertaker when he sat up. He sits straight up and has a smile on his face.
Great visual.
Up. Yeah. Was that Niblack or Hale? Whoever, there was just moments like that.
You know what? The guy, 84. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
It is Niblack, yeah.
But the guy, he's been a bailout for us in really important times. And you're exactly right. that was a show of toughness because he sat up like the Undertaker, one of the greatest, wrestlers of all time. But this team changed in the Ole Miss game.
Yeah.
And I really do. I center this whole season around 26, in my opinion, because he lit a guy up 2 times in a row. All right. On kickoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's effort.
Yeah.
All right. You have to be somewhat crazy and a lot of testicular fortitude to go down there on kickoff. Okay.
Yeah.
And he did it twice in a row. The stadium lit up.
Oh yeah.
It just happened like that. And you know what? I think this is something that's beautiful about sports. Sometimes it just takes one.
Yeah, just one play.
You never know. And you don't know in any sport across any, it doesn't matter, across any vertical or horizontal sport. In basketball, it's a 3. It's a block shot.
Yeah.
And you get this confidence. And if you as Alabama fans, if we look back, like you think about Reuben Foster when he hit Leonard Fournette on the kickoff.
Yeah.
Down in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
It was just like, we're not losing this game.
How about when Florida intercepted the ball and Mechie just took the dude out and got the ball right back?
But that's what we're used to.
Yeah,
Nick.
right.
Physical.
When Terrence Cody
football.
blocked the field goal.
Yeah, well,
different.
Don't get me.
I'm going to get you too fired up.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Look, Baron, I know this is your last segment. It's been awesome hanging out with you. You got to get back to family. What I want to ask you guys, final question: favorite Iron Bowl memory?
Oh gosh, can I go last?
Okay, you go last. Yeah. All right, Chad, you're up first. Favorite Iron Bowl memory?
Favorite Iron Bowl memory.
I'll go. Do I need to go first here?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay, look, 1998, I'm in the student section for the last Iron Bowl at Legion Field. And one of my fraternity brothers got jumped in the student section. I don't know why. I just looked down, and I'm a handsome guy. I'm not a fighter. But in this particular moment, particular moment, I had to jump into action. I had to bring in action. And it I don't know, I just was out of my comfort zone. And I'm throwing dudes and a big brawl breaks out, right? And then I threw this one guy into the stands and onto this other guy, and huge guy got up. It was like Andre the Giant. And all of a sudden he backed down, and I thought, man, that must be me. And then I realized it was because there was a cop behind me with mace. And I got
that's your iron. Had nothing to do with the field.
I got maced and cuffed. Bama won the game. I'm like this. My date at the time told the police officer that I was just trying to break it up, which was true. And it took me 2.5 hours to get the mace out of my eyes to leave the stadium. I was the last guy to leave the last Iron Bowl at Legion Field. We won the football game, and when I showed up to the K house that next day, I had the most street cred of any guy.
It was worth it.
It was so worth it. So that's mine. That's my greatest Iron Bowl moment. Different than your guys. All right, who's up next? Chad?
I'll run it.
All right.
I'm gonna go 2014. I think that game gets overlooked a lot. It's Blake Sims' first year as quarterback following A.J. McCarron. And part of the reason was it was a night game in Tuscaloosa. Bama's fighting for the 1 seed in the college football playoff, first year ever to have the playoff. Auburn comes in here and makes it a game. Really, they were ahead at halftime. They made it a game for 3 quarters. Bama pulls away. Lane Kiffin, highest scoring Iron Bowl in Iron Bowl history. And Mick, the reason on that one too is Divine Blood One, whoever that is, there in the chat wanted a non-sober one. Yeah, they wanted a non-sober one, and that was a night game, and it was a brown water day, and that was a lot of brown water leading up to a 6:30, 7 o'clock, whatever it was, kickoff. But Bama winning that game big, and Dixieland Delight in the 4th quarter, and I was sitting right above the student section. That place was lit. And so that one, I'll go with that one. That one was great.
All right, Baron, your final thought there. Your final thoughts.
I guess 2005. I grew up in East Tennessee, so the the Tennessee-Alabama rivalry, in my opinion, was always and still is the best rivalry in the Southeastern Conference, and that was the one that I'm partial to. Being recruited, I had an unofficial visit down there for the Iron Bowl. That was my first Iron Bowl to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And I could just tell as a recruit that the game was different. And I understood at that point that it was more than just a Tennessee-Alabama game.
Right.
That would be my first experience. We lost that day. But then, I think about, 2008 when we won. I think it was 39-0 with Glenn Coffey.
Ended the streak.
Yeah, ended the streak. Wonderful moment with my teammates and to be a part of that. And I think about 2009, we come back, from 21 points down on a team that was really, Auburn was not very good. And
like this year.
We came out and we found a way to win. And just for the record, anybody that wants to judge us against any other team, we'd still figure out a way to win. I don't give a damn who's quarterback or anybody else. We'd still
nobody
win.
ever beat you guys.
Yeah, we ain't been beat. We ain't going to get beat. But the 42
Mike Johnson always says, "What rules are we playing?"
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Whatever the rules were, we'd have figured it out.
Hey, Mick, do I have time for one quick question for Baron?
You got to hurry because we got to go to break.
Baron, why does this team make such better second half adjustments than years past? This team in the second half is unbeatable. Any game they've been behind, they just kick everybody's in the second half. Why is that?
I think we have a coaching staff that's on the same page first and foremost.
Right.
That trust each other. I think the players trust the coaching staff, and I think you have guys on this team that want to win, and they recognize that they have to be coached to win, and I think that says a lot. My favorite moment was 42 carries by Derrick Henry.
I love that one. I still love that.
Down on the plane.
Still love it.
I still have a little bit of blood flow, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
From that one, and hopefully today will be another good one.
Baron, love you, brother. Thank you, man.
Love you too, man.
Roll
Thank
Tide.
you guys
Thanks for starting the show, and thanks for being on it. All right, we'll be back talking more Alabama right after this.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You've heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and it's time for Flora-Bama Fun Facts. The Flora-Bama first opened in 1964, and we're celebrating our 59th year of doing it on the line. We host over 150 events every year, including Mullet Toss, Oktoberfest, Halloween Costume Party, Frank Brown Songwriters, Thanksgiving and Christmas Potluck, the biggest New Year's Eve party, and of course, the Polar Bear Plunge on January 1st. All the events, including our live music schedule, are available online at florabama.com.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at DanielMooreArt.com.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yuengling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yuengling, bring the goods.
R&R Cigars invites you to the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa. The best cigar selection and bourbon in the Southeast awaits you. 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, near Home 2 Suites, or Northport, next to Winn-Dixie. TheCigarMansion.com.
See yourself in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here.
This is my great escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Back on the original Bama Football Tailgate Show from the Flora-Bama as we talk Alabama and Auburn. That's a 2:30 kickoff. This is the Bama Football Tailgate Show presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sinatra, and SUV like the Kona or the Tucson or the Santa Fe. Tailgating doesn't get any better, plus no side stickers. And some of those cars are made right here in Alabama, these vehicles. And also our friend Barry Buckner has one of the best deals that you're going to get right now. 5 years, no interest if you qualify. And then you don't even start paying until February of next year, which I'm going to be honest with you. I'm probably taking advantage of that myself, Chad. All right. Alabama and Auburn at 2:30. We're kind of short on time now. So let's kind of just jump into one quick topic, and then we'll come back and pick the game. Most confident, biggest concern in today's game?
Most confident, Alabama's defense. Defense has been the staple all year long. It's the number 17 defense in the country. Auburn's got the 87th offense, so that's the most confident piece of this game. Most concerning, I liked your pre-snap penalties thing earlier in the last segment. I would go there, except Alabama's gotten much, much better over the last month with that. So I would go with punt returns and hope that Caleb Downs is returning today.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Look, my biggest thing is just go out there. Don't make the pre-snap mistakes. Yeah. Don't turn the football over. Don't buy into the all this crap about, what happens there and make it out to be more than it is. Alabama's the better football team. It's time to go down to the Plains and start establishing themselves as the better football team no matter where they play. And when we come back, we're going to pick this game, Alabama and Auburn, on the original Bama Football Tailgate Show, brought to you by Yuengling Larger from the Flora-Bama. Perdido Key on the line, the world famous Flora-Bama, right after this.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yuengling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yuengling, bring the goods.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Flora-Bama, and we're excited that football is back. The Flora-Bama is proud to support Alabama football, and we invite you to join us at Flora-Bama Old River Grill for a game day experience like no other. We have over 40 TVs and a brand new game day menu that includes endless wings, Santa Fe egg rolls, street corn nachos, and so much more. Bring your friends and join us for all the college and NFL games. Flora-Bama's Old River Grill, open at 11 a.m. daily, right across the street from the world famous Flora-Bama.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Skrewball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Skrewball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Skrewball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to SkrewballWhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Skrewball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Let the drum beat play as we go to the final segment of the original Bama Football Tailgate Show. Alabama and Auburn, 2:30, Jordan-Hare Stadium. The Crimson Tide need this one, and then obviously heading to Atlanta to take on Georgia next week. He's Chad Anderson. I'm Mick Gillispie. It was great hanging out with Baron Huber. And this is it, man. It's today's matchup powered by Genesis of Tuscaloosa. Chad, tell us how this game's going to turn out.
You guys have made me buy into a more dominant performance. Bama's the better team up and down. There's no doubt about that. Alabama, no matter what happened with Auburn and New Mexico State, Alabama's going to get Auburn's best shot today. The best shot is coming. So the New Mexico State game is fun. It's good to laugh at, but it's not going to have any impact on today because Bama's going to get the best shot. Remember, Auburn played Georgia tight for a while. It was late in that game where they pulled away. I think the same thing happens this afternoon. It's tight for a bit. Bama eventually, just being the better team with more talent and better coaches, they pull away. I'm going to go Bama 33-17 today.
Yeah, look, Adam, another super chat on the Bama Tailgate channel, and you're asking about Georgia. The keys to beating Georgia are the same keys to beating Auburn. I mean, it's basically playing Alabama football. Jalen Milroe being able to take care of the deep ball when it's there, use his wheels and his amazing speed when he has to. Just don't make any bad mistakes. If it's not there, throw it away. Watch what Mac Jones did. Watch what Bryce Young did. Just don't try to force it. And I think he's done a better and better job of that as the season's gone on, right? I think that's the first thing. The second thing is don't make any big mistakes where you put the defense and their back up against the wall. Make Auburn and make Georgia next week drive the entire length of the field because there's a chance they're going to make a mistake. And if they make a mistake, we're going to be there to pounce. These are both really difficult games. Auburn because it's the Iron Bowl down there, and then obviously Georgia because they haven't been beaten in so long, and they're the two-time defending national champs, right? One of those came against Alabama. And the third thing is just to stay true to the process, like Barron said. And he was kind of like, hey, it's not about the standard. It's about the process. It's about doing things the right way, learning from where you were at the beginning of the season and taking it forward each and every week. And I love what Nick Saban's done this year, Chad. I've totally enjoyed him and this team.
Yeah, it's been remarkable how this team has evolved and built their own identity. And they've got a chance to finish something special. It starts today. And then, obviously season on the line next week with a chance to really show off for the committee if you can go into that game with one loss and have a shot of beating the Dogs.
That does it for us here at the Flora-Bama. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to be back here next week. So if you're down in L.A., as we call it, Lower Alabama, make sure you swing by. Don't forget to check out the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Or if you like Jake Coker, Jake and I do the Roll Tide Pods, Disrupt the Media podcast called Elephant in the Room twice a week. He won a national championship. He's a really funny dude and loves to talk Alabama football. Very smart guy. That'll be out there as well. So for Chad Anderson and our entire crew, Barron Huber, Thom Abraham, Andrew Bone, and Reagan, who's a new dad right now, by the way, and Kenny White out in Vegas. I'm Mick Gillispie. Roll Tide, everybody. Let's beat Auburn and reconvene next week down here on the line.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hi, Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Based on the past 2 years, you've heard nothing but bad news with interest rates. But when you can buy a new Hyundai Santa Fe with 0% financing for 5 years, that's great news. And it's here right now. For the first time ever, new Santa Fe is now at Tuscaloosa Hyundai with 0% 60-month financing. 0 for 60 months. Yes, I said it. 5 years of free financing. Plus, you make no payments until February of 2024. If you've been thinking about buying, don't wait. New Tuscaloosa Hyundai Santa Fe's with 0 60-month financing plus no payments until February 2024 is great news. So let's get straight to the point. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
With approved credit, see dealer for complete details.
Hey, this is Reagan, owner of R&R Cigars, the Cigar Mansion in downtown Tuscaloosa, located at 2703 6th Street across from the Home 2 Suites. Come down to R&R and see why we're the ultimate cigar and bourbon experience. With over 165 bourbons and 5 private barrels, our selection of bourbon is unmatched. We have the best cocktails around and our cigar selection is legendary. Our lounge and service are world-class. Come and experience the luxury of the mansion and see why it's a world-renowned cigar and spirits destination.
Check out Pawn Royale at 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport. The summer season is almost over. Time to go to Pawn Royale and find some amazing deals. Right now, our lawn and gardening inventory must go. That includes mowers, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, you name it. Pawn Royale has deals on everything. Many items at cost or less. If you're in the market, come make a deal. That's Pawn Royale, 1019 McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Unique on the Strip. It's the best place to watch sports.
You're not even kidding. 11 TVs, NFL and MLB package, NHL, EPL, and so much more. If you want a game, they have it.
Now they're doing weekly NFL Pick'em, winners every Sunday, and grand prizes on Super Bowl Sunday.
And we haven't even mentioned the drink specials.
Of course they have daily drink specials. You can see them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Unique T-Town every day.
Unique on the Strip, the best place to watch sports in Tuscaloosa.
This is my great escape.
Where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots.
Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort?
No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.